I never intended to reveal my success at my brother Marcus's wedding. For years, I'd carefully hidden the truth, letting my family believe I worked for a small consulting firm while I quietly built an empire of my own. But that night, his words, his tone, his arrogance made it impossible to stay silent. The Grand Plaza Hotel glittered in excess. Crystal chandeliers bathed the ballroom in golden light. Champagne flowed freely, and every table screamed luxury. It was exactly the kind of spectacle Marcus loved, a stage built for his ego. I adjusted the hem of my simple navy dress, intentionally modest among the designer gowns. I preferred it that way. Sophie, selfie. My mother appeared beside me, phone already raised. Her eyes skimmed over my outfit, her smile tightening. Why are you standing alone? People keep asking about you. She paused, lips pursed, though I suppose there isn't much to say. I lifted my glass calmly, thinking about yesterday's board meeting, the one where I'd finalized the acquisition of our largest competitor. I'm doing well, Mom. Work keeps me busy. She sighed. Busy isn't success. Look at your brother, youngest VP in Sterling Industries history, marrying the CEO's daughter. That's real achievement. I almost smiled. Sterling Industries had been struggling for months, so badly, in fact, that their executives had been begging for a meeting with my company's CEO. Me. But my family didn't know that the small consulting firm I worked for was Aurora Consulting Group, one of the most powerful advisory firms in the country. And they certainly didn't know I'd built it from nothing. Sophie. Marcus's voice boomed behind me. He approached with confidence, champagne in hand, Jessica clinging proudly to his arm. Hiding in corners again? Some habits never change. Jessica laughed, smoothing her designer gown. Marcus told me all about your little consulting job. It's adorable that you're still figuring things out. 15 years ago, things had been very different. Marcus barely scraped through school while I graduated top of my class. But Dad had called in favors. Marcus got opportunities. I got lectures about being realistic. Someone has to do the small jobs, Marcus continued loudly, making sure nearby guests heard, while the rest of us build real careers. But hey, independence counts for something, right? Jessica's laughter rang sharp and hollow. Not everyone can be successful. My fingers brushed the antique locket at my neck, my grandmother's last gift, the only person who ever believed in me without conditions. Success takes many forms, I said evenly. Marcus scoffed. Right. Oh, did you hear? Sterling's CEO is coming tonight. Mr. Harrison himself. He never shows up to events like this, but for me, he puffed his chest proudly. I knew exactly why James Harrison was coming. He wanted to talk about a buyout. I'd ignored his requests for weeks, waiting. That's impressive, I said softly. Just don't embarrass me, Marcus added. Stay in the background. This is important for my future. Then the room fell silent. James Harrison had arrived. Tall, commanding, sharp-eyed, every bit the man I'd spoken to countless times in boardrooms and video calls. Marcus straightened instantly, dragging Jessica forward. But Harrison's gaze stopped on me. Sophie Mitchell, he called, walking past Marcus without a second glance. I didn't realize you'd be here. Marcus froze. Jessica's smile faltered. We've been trying to meet for weeks, Harrison said, shaking my hand. I never expected to see the CEO of Aurora Consulting at an employee's wedding. The color drained from Marcus's face. He stared at me, mouth opening, but no sound came out. Harrison glanced between us. Wait. Mitchell, is Marcus your brother? He is, I said calmly, though he didn't know who I was until now. The silence was unbearable. My mother's hand trembled. My father looked like the ground had vanished beneath him. Marcus looked like his entire world had collapsed. But, you said your sister worked at a small firm, Harrison said slowly. That's what they believed, I replied. I never corrected them. Jessica's wine glass slipped from her fingers, shattering across the marble floor. Conversation exploded around us, but I watched only Marcus as realization, humiliation, and fear settled in. This wasn't how I planned to reveal the truth. But as I stood there, watching years of dismissal shatter in seconds, I understood something clearly. Some moments are better when they're unplanned. And this one? This was only the beginning. Every guest was watching our family unravel like a live performance. Marcus's flawless wedding had become the most talked about event in the room, but not for the reason he'd imagined. I said calmly, this conversation would be better held in private. I turned to Harrison. James, would you give me a moment with my family? He inclined his head and stepped away without question. I led them into a small private lounge off the ballroom and closed the door. The silence pressed in immediately. How could you do this? Marcus snapped. On my wedding day? You couldn't let me have this one thing? I laughed softly. There was no warmth in it. One thing? Marcus, you've had everything. Dad's connections got you into Sterling. Mom's money paid for your MBA. My savings covered your failed startups. While you were being handed opportunities, I was building something real, alone. We were protecting you, my mother said quickly. The corporate world is brutal for women. No, I said. You weren't protecting me. You were dismissing me. Every milestone I reached, you minimized because it didn't fit the version of me you were comfortable with. My father stepped forward, eyes calculating. Let's not be hasty. We're family. Surely this can be arranged in a way that benefits everyone. Now that you know I'm successful? I asked coolly. Interesting timing. I met Marcus's gaze. The merger was a courtesy to Harrison. He's competent and trapped by a failing board. But after tonight, things will change. You can't do this, Marcus whispered. My career, my future. Your position was never secure, I replied. You've lost 3 major clients this year. The only reason you're still employed is your connection to Jessica's family. I smoothed my dress. When Aurora acquires Sterling, we'll find you a role aligned with your actual skills. Jessica let out a shaky breath. My father won't allow this. He's on the board. Your father called me last week, I said gently. Sterling is drowning. Aurora is its only lifeline. Marcus collapsed into a chair, the truth finally landing. All this time, he said hoarsely, we were mocking you. I tried to tell you. I said, you just never listened. I opened the door. Now you know, and nothing will stay the same. Sophie, my mother called. We're still family. I paused. Family doesn't belittle. Family doesn't dismiss. You weren't there when I was building everything from nothing. You don't get to claim me now. Back in the ballroom, Harrison was waiting. Shall we discuss the merger? He asked. Yes, I said. It's time to restructure Sterling, starting at the top. The fallout came exactly as expected. Messages, calls, apologies wrapped in desperation. I ignored them all. I had work to finish. On the morning of the Sterling board meeting, I stood in my office overlooking the city, dressed in a tailored black suit. There was no need for understatement anymore. My assistant knocked. Your brother is here again. 3rd time this week. I sighed. Send him in. Marcus entered looking nothing like the man who'd mocked me at his wedding. Sophie, please, just listen. I am listening. You can't take over Sterling. My whole life is there. Your life was arranged, I said evenly. Mine was built. I'm sorry. For the first time, it sounded real. Sorry doesn't undo years of disrespect, I said, but it does give you a choice. I checked my watch. After the merger, you can stay, starting at the bottom. No favors, no shortcuts, or you take severance. His face drained. Entry level? Earn it, I said, or walk away. Before he could answer, my parents entered. You're destroying your brother's future, my father said. No, I replied. I'm removing the illusion that he earned it. I pulled an old family photo from my desk, the one where I stood apart even then. You taught me self-reliance. You just didn't mean to. Emma knocked. The board is ready. I stood. You're welcome to observe. The meeting was decisive. By the end, Sterling belonged to Aurora in everything but name. No more roles based on connections, I concluded. Only competence. Through the glass, I saw my family finally understand. Afterward, Harrison approached me. Your brother. Entry-level sales, I said, if he wants it. He nodded. Fair. When I returned, Marcus looked smaller than I'd ever seen him. So that's it? It was decided years ago, I said. You just didn't notice. My mother stepped forward. Can we start over? I thought of everything I'd endured. No, I said gently, but we can move forward, honestly. As the elevator doors closed, I realized something unexpected. This didn't feel like revenge. It felt like resolution. That night, alone in my office, I opened my grandmother's locket and reread her words. Success isn't about who believes in you at the end. It's about believing in yourself from the beginning. Marcus's wedding hadn't changed my life. It had revealed it. And now, everyone finally knew exactly who I was.